Welcome back to Airballer Podcast. We are here for another week. This week, ideally, we have sound. Apologies for that last week, everyone. Dan's being fired.
Yeah, I'm not quitting my day job anytime soon. That is for sure.
We actually had a great chat last week, and we'll try and cover a little bit of it again today, but we do have someone new in the studio. It's not Dan.
Center screen in the middle.
Yeah, this is Jack. Say hello, Jack.
How you going? Glad to be here. I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, mate, we're happy to have you on here. It's going to be a good afternoon. Good drive home show. Daine hates that, but it is the drive home show. It's a bit later today.
So, background. Jack, do you want to give the background as to why you're here?
I think it all started with an argument, really.
Ongoing, I would think.
Ongoing, yeah. It started there. I probably had too many beers and maybe got a bit greedy about my hate for the Raptors.
And now, can I ask, has this stemmed from them winning last year?
No, not at all.
It's always been
just in general.
Just in general.
Just in general. I just think Kyle Lowry's overrated.
Good.
I'm just going to throw that out there.
So
nice
we'll
get into that.
So the background for it is we bought season tickets to the Breakers and managed to get, as an entire group of us, to three entire games. Everyone else got to them. The Sky City Breakers, great year. They got robbed. NBL, by the way, robbed. Getting political with it, Dan. I know.
Don't know about that.
But on the last night, bit of a razz up, and then a bit of chat around if some players are overrated or some aren't. Of which Jack has very strong opinions, and our mate Dill, who will be on the show another time with Jack.
Can't wait.
We can't wait.
Yeah, I know. How good's it going to be? They are going to potentially even fight it out. But for today, we're just going to go through with Jack a bunch of stuff that...
Some quick fire questions, right?
Some thoughts on his,
so you guys can learn who Jack is. You can build his profile out here.
And we can argue about it, because I guarantee I'm going to disagree with it just by principle. And then we're going to go through a topic that we actually covered last week, which is the Rockets going small ball. I think it's super interesting. And
I'm a fan.
I know you and I had a 20-minute chat on it and would love to sort of dive back in.
Yep, keen.
And then, obviously, the big one, as everyone knows who follows basketball, it was the All-Star game on the weekend, or the All-Star weekend.
All-Star weekend.
So
lots of activities.
After the awesomeness of that game, I forgot about everything else. So we're going to go through the weekend day by day and sort of break it down and get some thoughts. And then one that I kind of pulled in really last minute, and I'm not sure how stoked the lads are with this.
Not stoked. It's a good topic, though, so well done.
Well, it did stem from the All-Star game. Like, I was watching, and Shaq was there on the sideline. Shaq. With his phone on his gyro camera, or like with his gyro, and it was taking videos. And then they throw back to when Shaq was, like, it was 2000 or 2002, whenever it was at the All-Star game, and he had a big camcorder there. And I'm just like, all I could think was, how dope Shaq?
What, is he just good now because he's on the TNT show? And
no, he's worse because of that. He's worse because of that.
Is he? I feel like he's built his profile up through that.
I mean, he had a pretty big profile. He had movies, etc. But we'll get into that. But I've also been listening, and I think you have as well, to the Book of Basketball 2.0 miniseries by Bill Simmons. What are your thoughts on that overall?
It's good. I don't know. I think that Bill Simmons goes a little bit hard on the Celtics. Like, he's just a massive homer for the Celtics.
Nothing wrong with it, though.
Nothing wrong with supporting your team, but, like, come on, man.
Yeah.
He loves the Celtics. But
he does.
Other than that, yeah, it's cool, and it's because we weren't, we didn't grow up watching 100%. Basketball or watching that era. It's kind of cool to hear it from someone who did grow up.
Quick sidebar: has anyone seen Uncut Gems? This is not a push for Netflix.
Or is it?
And speaking of Celtics, please watch it. Kevin Garnett's in it. Just go watch it.
I'm out.
It's very interesting. He's a crazy actor. Anyway.
But no, what I wanted to do is Bill Simmons in one of the podcasts that I actually listened to today sort of dives in deep into Shaq's career and how he kind of stacks up and where he went wrong, where he went right. And without just straight up stealing topics, I really enjoyed it and I kind of want to get into it.
Sure, for you, Daine?
I know you've got no background, but I want opinion. Like, opinion's what we are kind of formed on because there's so... Well, there's
You're
so...
right.
Like, if you want facts, go to ESPN, in my opinion. But
and you'll find a fact. You can find a fact from anything to support any story that you want.
Exactly. So I think what people come here for is our arguments and us yelling at each other.
Yeah, cool. And I'm keen on that.
So that's what I'm down for. But we will start with Jack. And how long have you watched basketball?
I've been watching like religiously since maybe about 07, 08, but I always grew up playing on PlayStation, playing all the NBA lives and then the 2Ks and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I've been a massive fan of basketball and played basketball pretty much most of my life. So,
well, the next leading question obviously is is your favorite team?
The Thunder.
Oh, why?
Okay, and is this from when you began watching? Like, has it always been the Thunder from the
Yeah, I was a Sonics fan.
Oh, that's dope. Okay, cool.
I was a Sonics fan. I used to always play with Gary Payton and Sean Kemp and then obviously Ray Allen and so on and so on. And then they moved. I'm like, well, I'm not from Seattle. I'm not American. I don't really care. I like these dudes that I've just been watching.
Yeah.
So I kind of moved with them. So, I'm a Thunder fan.
Okay. Have you seen them play live?
Nah, never seen them play live.
Bucket list?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
And what is your thoughts on their performance over the last couple of years with Kevin Durant and then without and then this year?
With Kevin Durant was a little bit underwhelming. Like,
I don't disagree.
They should have won titles. They should have won titles. They should have won 2 titles.
They should have won titles before James Harden left.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think they should have had one with James Harden, one without.
All put it on KD, and I'm not saying I'm KD's biggest fan. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Of course, and then obviously post KD, they managed to have Paul George, Carmelo Anthony, other stars, if you can call Carmelo's year in OKC. But now they are surprisingly not that bad.
No, I agree.
And everyone thought Chris Paul was washed, but he's not.
No, and he has almost turned back the dial a little bit, hasn't he?
To be fair, like he's one of those players that's really easy to underrate. I know it sounds weird, but this is a straight up plug because I did manage to get to a game, like a playoff game. I watched a game this year in Oakland, Golden State versus Houston Rockets, game 2 of the Western Conference Finals. Yep. James Harden got his eye scratched and had to go to the locker room, was bawling out. And meanwhile, like Oracle Arena's going absolutely like bananas, being like, we're going to crush them. For the next like 2 quarters until James Harden came on, couldn't take my eyes off Chris Paul. Like, unfreaking believable.
Do you think he just... You'd never like to use the term turning it on and off, but do you think he's ever going 100%? Do you know what I mean? It's like, because when that happens, he obviously knows he doesn't need to. James Harden's on. James Harden, he's going to be the main... It's all going through James Harden. When he's off, he almost like takes it up another level and shows you lots of skills and lots of things he's always had, but doesn't do it on a like every night basis.
Maybe he's not the best. Maybe he's not the best second option. Maybe he works better as a first option.
Yeah, like that
because he kind of takes a little bit of a back seat to like James Harden.
Yeah, no, he does.
Yeah,
but that's what I mean. It's just like
now he's a first option again, and he's an all-star and was one of the best players.
Well, that's it. And I think when you're a guy like him who, I think everyone underrates how good he is at shooting threes. But he's pass first. He's not going to go the whole each time. Like he's going to have a limited impact by himself. And I think if he's facilitating as a first option, he's amazing, obviously. But as soon as a coach will drop a play or plays for someone who's as ball dominant as James Harden, and he'll take a back seat. Like it's hard for him to then, as off the ball, make a huge impact. Like he's not going to do a Russell Westbrook fly to the rim and just like rocket on you. He's also not going to be Steph Curry and every single one's going to be like 35 feet out. So he's kind of like in that in between. But he's amazing. Like, and I think everyone like forgets the fact that he's put every defender on skates in the league. Super underrated.
Definitely.
What else do you think's a contributing factor to the Thunder actually being okay this year?
I think SGA as well came out of nowhere. I think they had a really good. I think the trade worked out really well. If Paul George was going to leave anyway, now they've got SGA and all these picks. They've got other guys, young guys, who are being forced to play minutes and being forced to fill a role, and they're pretty good. Like they're not going to be role players on or they're not going to be starters on a contender team, but they're playing pretty well. So I don't think they'll get anywhere in the playoffs.
You think they'll make first round though?
I think they'll be the 7th or 8th seed.
Okay.
So
and I think they'll get
against like a Lakers or whatever.
Yeah, they'll get knocked out like 4-1 or something.
So who do you think's going to take it all then?
LA. Someone from LA.
Yeah.
Someone. Which team? There's two teams there. Which team would you like?
I feel like I want to say the Clippers because Kawhi is just a straight up winner. Like every time you watch him, he's a winner.
Yeah, but if you've been following us, which I know you have been, and big topics around load management.
You can't load management in the playoffs though. Like he's going to play.
Yeah, he's not going to be resting games in the finals. He's going to be out there getting buckets.
I mean, I don't know about those knees. Just saying.
Yeah, but I think the Lakers. I feel like the Lakers might win. The whole Kobe thing this year, and they're playing really well. They've got a lot of power, like a lot of star power. Role players who, when they're playing well, are just
Starters,
as good as
right?
any star.
But the one thing is, the one thing I've noticed with the Lakers, and I agree, they do have a lot of star power, but their combinations are changing almost every game. Like they don't have a consistent starting five. They have different six-mans all the time, and which I guess is to their credit.
The problem is, have they
but
got...
then when it comes to playoff time and when it comes to crunch time, who's he going to go to? Because it's all sort of all around the place at the moment, in my opinion, right? It just seems like they're running lots of different combos.
I don't disagree with that. I mean, there's two ways of thinking about it, right? Either they're doing every single.
I don't see it being I don't see it being a
team.
really, really bad thing. I think it's really, really good to be able to have that.
It's what the regular
ability.
season's for, right?
Yeah, but I guess what is
When do you decide though?
yeah,
When do
you
lock
look
it
at
in?
the amazing teams, and they always have not the death lineup like someone like Golden State had a couple of years ago, but there's always a lineup that they'll fall back on if
It's the go-to.
6 points down, 3 minutes to go,
Shooting
or,
trash from
you know what I
three.
mean? I'm just not sure the Lakers actually, like, as much as I love LeBron and I love what they're doing there, I worry that they haven't got that at the moment.
Okay.
So do you think that obviously that's the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, and I don't think.
How good would that be?
Yeah,
Teams
that
would be stoked with that. No travel.
Oh, hell.
No
exactly
travel.
right.
You stay at home.
Stay at
for like
home.
2 weeks. I don't see a team in the East winning. I don't see a team in the East pushing a final series to 6 or 7 games.
So even though we have the Bucks in terms of the
Way out of
ESPN
front.
power rankings, number 1 in front of LA.
I've got my doubts about Giannis's ability to close a game.
Oh,
I like
He can't
that.
close a game, and he's not. I don't want the ball in Giannis's hands with a minute to go in a tight game.
You've
He's
just
not
brought up a
one-on-one
very
scorer.
key point, and I think we will be touching that on the NBA All-Star Weekend.
do
the
you
game.
think, like, okay, it gets to, doesn't matter, an LA team versus the Bucks, and it gets to game 6, it's 3 minutes to go, 2 minutes to go, and the Bucks have the ball. If you can't give it to Giannis, who has it? Or is that your issue?
Exactly. I think that's your issue. And as good as Chris Middleton is at shooting and playing his role, he's not really the guy either.
No.
Like,
That's fair play.
Just trying to remember who's on their roster. I was gonna
Bledsoe?
Bledsoe.
Oh,
Bledsoe.
just give it to him.
Do not give it to Eric Bledsoe.
Just-
No.
Just give it to anyone but Giannis. Anyway, I don't want to dive into that because we're going to get into that sooner. Okay.
So, rookies. We've talked about guys that are potentially not star players on teams, but then we've currently got a rookie class this year of bona fide superstars.
I already know where this is going, just because I know a little bit of Jack's history
Yeah.
and who he likes, and I can already know where we're going. So carry on.
But I want to go into your thoughts on this year's rookie class versus the guys that are then coming up, because I know you're a big LaMelo Ball fan.
Yeah.
massive LaMelo Ball fan.
Which I love.
How much-
Going to Breakers versus Illawarra games.
In a LaMelo Ball
It's
jersey.
such a watch.
God,
You were getting
you-
some sideways
Yeah,
looks
man.
too.
I went right into the like the members lounge, and there's all the diehards in there with all their Breakers kit on, and I rocked in there with my LaMelo Ball jersey, and I just got death stares.
Oh,
man.
you did.
I
Big
went
time.
in
I was
there.
like, I'm not with that guy, man. I'm not.
I
with
went
him.
and got my drink and my little cracker, and I was out of there. I was gone. I didn't want any of that heat.
Shit.
Yeah, but you were throwing a lot of noise out during the game.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. It was a lot
As
of
you
noise.
should.
Those beers are kicking in from the members lounge. So, before we get on to LaMelo in the 2020 draft class, what are your thoughts so far on the current rookies we have? Who do you think is rookie of the year? Who do you think stand out? Like, just your overall thoughts, and you as well, Dan. By the way,
Jar's definitely rookie of the year.
even if you think like, even if Zion goes like 30 and 10 for the rest of the season,
Yeah, 28 games. To
Yeah, true. I don't know. Has he played enough? Because that was the issue when
go. I don't think it matters now.
who was it? Embiid and Brogdon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
That was the issue with that year that he hadn't played enough, and Malcolm Brogdon won Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I feel like how they give out those awards though. The criteria changes, just like the dunk contest.
If the Pelicans,
So, yeah, well,
how about this? Whoever makes the playoffs out of the Grizzlies or the Pelicans, if one of them makes the playoffs, I think will get Rookie of the Year.
Ooh,
because then it becomes
you heard it here first.
because it becomes the same thing as MVP, right? How much have you added to your team's winning
Yeah.
ability?
If Zion comes in and all of a sudden his team goes on a crazy run, they make the 8th seed or something, and kick out the Grizzlies, of course he's going to win it.
He's
Yeah,
so dominant.
I think I do agree with that. As good as Jar is, and he is amazing,
Phenomenal,
and I love watching him. The hype around Zion, the whole season, even though he hasn't been playing, there's been an update on his training, all his progress, everything he is doing. And people are saying, he's like a. Now, don't get angry.
I know what you're going to do.
Don't get angry.
Fine.
But they're comparing him to LeBron now, not from how his total gameplay, but the build that he has come in as he is big. Don't be salty over there. You
I'm
just-
not salty.
I can see it. You're looking at me as I'm talking. But he's coming in. He's not a kid. He's not a kid just coming in from college playing the NBA. He's actually a full-grown man, and he's
Full
putting.
growing, I hope so.
Boys that hit third heaviest in the NBA.
No, but do you know what I mean? And so I don't know how much influence the media has and what
It's a
the
fair
criteria gets taken into, but I feel like he's getting a lot more attention, even though he's only played 4 or 5 games, if that.
He's played a couple more than that, but yeah, I agree with you. I think
It's I don't know. Man.
depending on who's picking it and on what day, like you watch. I think the challenge is though, looking at them both playing. I think, and it's potentially because of the position he plays. Ja Morant kind of dictates a game way more than Zion does. Like Zion finds a spot and will just straight overpower you.
Which why I think Jar should get it. Because if you can,
I agree.
from an MVP, it's you taking over the game and you're dictating how the game's going to play.
Jar's
on
more
your terms.
crafty, and like he earns his shots. Like he's 6'1", he's wiry, he's tiny.
But
Like he
man,
has to
he's an
work for
athlete.
everything, and he passes the ball. He does everything well.
Yeah,
Where Zion's like, he doesn't really care because he's more athletic than everyone. He's stronger than everyone. Like, did you see him play against Stephen Adams?
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah, he made a meal out of Stephen Adams.
and he's
like,
4.5 inches shorter.
Yeah, he was owning him. Like, in the post, he was having straight one-on-one post-ups and just owning him.
And then meanwhile, Ja Morant at 6'1", wiry. I just love him because of that dunk on Aaron Baines.
But that's the thing. So he's probably,
And
so
the
he's
one he
probably-
nearly got on Kevin Love.
Oh, that's a career ender.
Wow.
Kevin
So he's
Love would have
really
to
only-
straight retire.
but he's only really contributing. Like Jar's probably contributing more on the stat sheet.
Oh, no. Surely, like, think
Well,
about points.
What does Zion get?
But
Like
yeah, you get it, so you're
70%
gonna
from
go,
the field or
but-
something?
Yeah, he's got like one of the highest field goal ratings, like percentage at the moment, because everything's a dunk.
Yeah. But I guess, what, points and rebounds
Yeah,
versus points, assists, steals.
yeah.
And he actually
And
does pretty
dictating
well.
a team.
And dictating a game. I don't know. I'm just...
I don't disagree with you. I'd like.
Yeah,
I think,
yeah, I
I
just
think at the
think-
moment, Ja Morant's got it. I think.
I hope,
we're
and I
probably
hope he
slightly
does.
early because 28 games is a long way to go if Zion does that for the rest of the time. But if he sort of comes off pace at all, or gets hurt again, like, and I think you and I discussed this 2 weeks ago, like, I want him so badly to be a prodigy and to just
Well, didn't
straight
after we
dominate
spoke,
everyone.
didn't he go off for a couple of games?
Yeah, like all of a sudden, if you're missing 2 to 3 games here and there, like what sort of impact can you actually have for your team?
Yeah, his feet. I don't know. His feet and his ankles they just look like they can't hold that much weight and that much power.
Can any?
Mm.
Yeah.
And then I guess going into what you want to talk about, and this is your one plug, use it wisely. The 2020 rookies. Talk to me about. Do you like take the fact you love him out of it? Is LaMelo Ball going 1?
Yes. He's still going to say yes.
I like it if he does.
I want him to go. I think he should go 1.
No, but is he?
I think he's the best player in the draft
Yeah.
because he's got something that you can't train. He's just got this instinct, and you watch it when you watch him live, and he looks like he's not even trying. Like, you watch him on YouTube and all that
I
sort
don't
of
think
stuff,
he was.
and he looks like he's not even trying. And then you watch him live, and he still doesn't look like he's trying, and he doesn't really swear.
Silky.
And he triple-doubled that game we
around.
went to and didn't even look like he was dominating.
Yeah, we thought he had a okay
Average.
game, pretty good game.
And then it popped up and
He had
like,
a 25-point triple-double, and he was dunking on people and
On
throwing
Abercrombie.
no-look passes and everything. Like, he's the best player in the draft, but I don't think he'll go number 1. I think teams have their doubts about him.
Yeah.
I think
Size or just because of the hype around Lonzo, who's just been
the
kind
Ball.
of average?
It's the Ball family, mate. And
Yeah.
we have a bigger advocate here.
I'm a massive Ball family fan.
I know, you watch
I
the
watch
show.
Ball in the Family.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I'm a big Lonzo fan.
But he's underwhelming. I guess that's the reason, right?
They
Is
play the game the right way, I feel.
You have a minute to tell me what's going on in Ball in the Family. I'm interested, and the fans might be interested too. 1 minute.
What's going on, Ball in the Family? Jello is, we'll start with Jello.
Oh, yeah, cool. Jello.
He's recovering from an ankle injury.
Okay.
Recently got picked up by the Tulsa Blue?
Oh,
Oklahoma
yeah.
City Blue.
yeah.
Yep.
And he's dating his girlfriend. His girlfriend's probably a better basketball player than he is.
Fantastic.
Watch her highlights. She plays for UCLA. She's really good. Lonzo and LeVar are in this like big battle over the brand.
Are they
LeVar
still
wants his
beefing?
money. Lonzo's like, nah.
Yeah, your shoes
wanna
suck.
stay
I
in
blow
mine.
out of them.
Yeah.
I'm a
Rather
wear
just wear
Kobe's.
Kobe's. Yeah,
yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
And then LaMelo's basically been in Australia the whole time.
Yeah.
So we've got to see Melo because he's playing in the NBL.
I have to ask, how did you feel about his departure? Not saying goodbye, just...
Fair. It's so fair. It's like
He
small
got
fry.
it. Yeah. He
Oh,
got
obviously
in.
he doesn't care because he knows he's going to get making bigger money.
Oh, for sure.
But
He came in, did what he needed to do, put up some crazy stats, won Rookie of the Year,
Yeah.
which was announced the other day, and now he's going to be a top 3 pick in the draft. Like, that was the whole goal.
Yeah,
The
and
whole
it
goal.
helped,
and
it
it's-
helped his draft stock rather than you look at like RJ Hampton, who probably because he played within the team slightly more and didn't dominate, probably hurt his draft stock. They were going, he's going to go top 5. He might be first round now. Like,
Yeah,
maybe.
he might be like fringe lottery guy. I
Yeah.
reckon.
So I'm thinking he's dropped further. I'm thinking like he's small, he's undersized. He hasn't played college, so no one knows. Like it's the risk factor of not knowing as well. Like what if he drops to like 28? Like
Well,
end of the first round.
And I like RJ Hampton. I think he's a good dude. I kind of followed him on all his social media and all that sort of stuff. Seems like a great kid. But you
he's a
heard it
kid.
here first. He's the next Dante Exum.
Whoa.
Yeah. You know
Okay.
what? I don't disagree with it.
Okay.
Dante Exum was a bit of a
He
bust
won't be an NBA starter.
ever.
Sorry if you're watching this, RJ.
Yeah. Sorry, George.
No hate, but like
Right.
I hope he proves us wrong.
So do
Oh, so do I. Yeah.
I. All right. Moving on. Biggest issue with the NBA in 2020. Right now, what is the biggest issue? We've covered a few. We had a great conversation last week around, missed calls basically in the last 2 minutes, and the whole video replay system and challenge system. And
What are the issues you've got with it? You watch it so much. You watch it as much as we do.
I agree with the refereeing in the last 2 minutes, the reviews and all that. It's kind of becoming like every other sport. You got cricket with all the other stuff as well. But I'm going to go slightly different with this one.
no, it's what we
And
want.
it's about
what we like.
it's about the players. And what I don't like is this whole fashion statement, Instagram, pre-game fits, all this like Russell Westbrook kind of shit.
Yeah, okay.
I don't like it.
Do you just want the Tim Duncan special? Is
I
that all
want
you're
the
after?
baggy jeans. I want the ill-fitting shirts.
Yeah.
And I want you to go out there and ball. Like Kyle Kuzma, all I see from him is like fashion stuff and like celebrity stuff. And it's like, bro, you're playing trash and you're not playing up to your potential. And
Well, he's just on the fashion game, bro.
people were comparing him to Jason Tatum. Like,
Yeah,
come
no,
on,
if
man.
he's lucky.
Yeah, if he's lucky.
It's
But-
that sort of stuff. I think the outside of basketball the whole lifestyle, the celebrity thing is.
You might be following too many people on social media, I think.
Well, no, but
Staying in touch, man.
yeah.
I like that.
I agree. My only rebuttal to that is like there's an athlete's lifespan career is so short. Like, get paid, son. And if that's going to help, why not?
But
Do it
are
in the
they?
summer. Win rings, man. Do it in the summer.
Ooh.
Work on your game.
Yeah.
Go out, go to parties, all that kind of stuff.
But it tends to be only the guys who are really going out there, apart from Kyle Kuzma, are the ones who've kind of proven themselves in the league, like the Russell Westbrooks.
Yeah, but-
Only from winning an MVP, but that's about it.
Yeah.
But
Do you know what I mean?
Like
Like
so much of it goes like I agree with you. Like I think it's become so much of a fashion parade in that sense of things. Like I'm sort of a fan of guys making the most out of their winning potential. Okay, if they're not winning, fine. But like their earning potential, and if that's going to help, so be it.
But do you reckon it does?
Yeah, because celebrity state like, did Blake Griffin actually like Kendall Jenner? No, boy's trying to get followers.
Yeah.
Do
Endorsements.
you reckon?
followers,
Oh,
yeah.
No,
Because
They get more money for doing this, guy.
otherwise you get small fries like us talking on a podcast in New Zealand about it, or you have the LA Times and you're on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. There's a difference. You got to get paid.
It's not just a basketball
Whatever.
league anymore.
You cannot tell me he went through all that just to get followers.
I'm not saying
She out,
it.
though. She out.
yeah. That's what I mean. You cannot be telling me that.
That's a huge part of it. There's the same reason that these guys are. Everyone wants to play in LA because star power is bigger.
Yeah,
Like,
it's Hollywood.
where do
man.
you want to go?
Who was
Cleveland,
the last
Ohio.
big-time
Bow
free
down.
agent to sign in like Utah or Cleveland or sorry, not Cleveland, LeBron, obviously.
Don't worry,
But,
he's
like,
a Cleveland fan.
Depends who's there.
Okay, but
But
so
can you actually fix
well-
that though?
no, I don't think you can. I think it's like you said, it's around their earning potential. Well, actually, the NBA brought in all that. They were sick. They wanted this to be a big show, right? So the NBA, you had to dress up basically when you come into a game.
You
That
had
was
to
our-
not,
that was
no,
brought
you had to
in-
not
that
dress
was
like a
brought-
gangster. You had to dress in like a shirt.
Yeah, you can't
and
be
stuff
coming
and-
in. You can't be doing AI, smelling nice and rocking them with your guns and gang bang. You know, you just can't be doing that.
True.
Not bring a gun to a game.
Oh, I know. It's a stretch. It was practice. But we're talking about practice.
Yeah.
We're talking about practice. He didn't go practice.
I love that.
What about then? Because what I really like, and when I'm on my channels that I'm following, I love all the photos every day that come up around different shoes. Players
Oh,
wearing,
yeah.
during their game, and that's, I guess that's a different side because I follow basketball and I play. Like that's really gets me going in a way. But I guess it's probably the same for other people who don't. They probably don't care what shoes they're wearing.
The sneakers thing in the NBA is one of my favorite things about the NBA.
Yeah.
And it's actually one of my favorite things about All-Star Weekend as well.
Oh.
Is all the shoes.
Did he just segue? You are so good.
Yeah. Hey, I'm here for a reason. It's the shoes. Like it's not the weird jackets and the hats and the funny glasses and all that sort of stuff. Like it's
Talking
what you
about
play
Westbrook,
on
eh?
the court. Yeah, I'm talking about Westbrook. It's what you play on the court, but like also your off court sort of stuff. And I just like the shoes part of it. People pay tribute to Kobe. You know, you saw a lot of that over All-Star Weekend. You see like collabs with like movies. You see like the LeBron James lines and Jordan Brand's always doing some sort of retro and all that sort of stuff. So I like the iconic sort of feel of a lot of the
It's
the
very,
shoe,
it's
the
quite
sneaker
authentic,
game.
really.
Well,
Yeah, it's such a.
what are you playing on Wednesdays at the moment? Because they're tight.
Have you noticed that I've actually played in a different pair of shoes every game this season?
No,
I've
I
seen,
haven't
I've seen
actually.
those black ones twice. Those shiny ass black ones. Which ones are they?
Really?
So you're telling me
The
you
Paul
got
George
15?
threes.
Are you telling
No,
me you
no,
got?
not
Are you
those
telling
ones,
me you got
the
15
Jordans.
pairs of shoes?
Yeah, I got like 30.
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah.
I think the different, like,
Wow.
if you go back to like
Fantastic.
what you just said though, like, there's a difference between the show around how you dress and the celebrity status versus the kind of the marriage between style, culture, and sport. And like,
Yeah.
you're still playing on those shoes and can play on them. The fact that guys like are doing warm ups in Air Max is like, that's beyond me. That can't be good for your feet. But like,
It's
Yeah.
it's a show.
Swag,
though, right?
Swaggy P playing in like Jordan 4s and stuff like shit can't be comfortable and they must be heavy, but like that's still dope, and it shows something about like how they play and how they are, right? Like playing in Yeezys and stuff like that can't be good. for your feet.
It can't be good for your feet.
Well, who was shooting in? Someone was shooting in Yeezys at the 3-point contest.
Zach Levine.
Yeah.
It was Zach Levine. Yeah,
Brandon
Zach
Ingram
Levine.
got his signed by Kanye on the sideline of the All-Star game.
Yeah, he played the All-Star game in
Yeah.
the Yeezys.
Yeah.
And they look like these big brick things, but like...
Did he do
they're
anything?
Yeezys, right?
No.
Yeah, well,
no,
there we go.
not at all. Good segue though. All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
We managed to talk half an hour on all that cool stuff, which I enjoy.
Thank you, Jack.
Yeah. All-Star weekend obviously kicked off on Friday
Night.
night with the Rising Stars Challenge. I mean,
Can we just really quickly touch on that?
Yeah.
Trash. Move on. Let's go. Waste of
Why?
time.
Bring
It's
back
a
rookie
it's
versus
It's a
sophomore.
waste of time. It's a waste of time only because what we saw on Monday for us. So there's Sunday night, the All-Star game.
because I don't care.
They don't care.
They got nothing to play for,
There's
that's
nothing
why.
to play for.
Play for your draft class. Do rookie versus
It's-
sophomore again.
Yeah, I like that.
There's just there's nothing to prove for those players. No one cares. We have, and I know we'll touch on it. Yeah, you have a pretty average 3 quarters, but then you just have like the best 12 minutes of basketball you'll probably watch with all stars the whole. You
yeah.
know?
So
So
good.
it's kind of like I don't like it. It needs to change.
And the rookie game turns into a dunk contest for
Yeah.
the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, it was
Well,
pretty
it's kind of just like becoming like the All Star game when there was no.
Yeah.
totally. Okay, we did say dunks. Controversy.
Yes.
The dunk contest. Obviously, Dwight Howard, Superman, came back, didn't bugger all,
Oh look, and to be fair, probably that's all he was going to come back and do.
which is sick.
Good
I'm
throwback.
happy.
I
and I'm
like the
happy.
one where he like went up and then turned around.
Yeah, no,
Whatever
it's
he
tight.
calls
And I
that.
think
That was cool.
It's
For
so
a
sick.
33-year-old who's like 6'11".
Well, it's cool to be invited back, do it again, want to do it.
I just like the fact that Dwight Howard's relevant again. It just makes the NBA feel like it did when we first started like watching it. You know, when he was like, I think I started watching it about the year he got, a couple years before he got drafted.
Orlando.
And just like, I'm so glad because he was like going to be the next Shaq incarnate. He can overpower you, can overjump you, and he just fell off the wagon for so long. I'm
We
so
just didn't.
glad
He
to
just
see him
didn't care.
back.
He just didn't like it. Like I remember listening
Yeah.
to Pocket. He just didn't care. He's like, nah, I'm big. Look at my shoulders. You know,
Yeah,
I'm
but
big.
I
I'm
think
gonna.
he's 6'10".
No, but he's just like he's big and wide, but he actually just didn't care. And it wasn't until this year that he really got in shape.
It's 'cause
Probably
he-
because LeBron fucking.
Well, that, and like he's got a
Whipped
chance
him.
of winning for a change, right?
Yeah.
When was the
And-
last time he had a chance of winning?
Exactly. Well, the Rockets probably.
Really, in that organization, like at that time?
Yeah, no, maybe not. But he's like all spiritual and like he loves everyone and does all this like outwardly.
You're saying like that's a bad thing, bro.
That is totally a good thing, but like he's been painted as this guy who doesn't really care this whole time and people
Totally
have
changed
and he
persona,
doesn't like
right?
his teammates and his teammates don't like him and all that sort of stuff. And now he's like, I just love everyone, and he posts on Instagram every night. Like
Do follow a lot of basketball
You
pages.
do. Well done. This is good.
you got to keep up.
But do you just think that's being part of a well-run organization as well, and like a well-run team?
Nah, man, new season, new him
Oh, okay.
for sure.
Yeah, just figured out the last 4 since the last time I was at the Lakers.
So you brought it up. Controversial, and I definitely agree. What are your thoughts, Daine? Dunk contest. Talk me through it.
I think so. For anyone that doesn't know, Derek Jones Jr. won it over Aaron Gordon.
I feel for him.
Well, you look at the
Yeah,
you look at
he-
the stats, right? Nate Robinson's the only person to have won 3 dunk contests. He's had 150 dunk. Aaron Gordon's had 650 dunks and hasn't won one. I mean, that's a stat. Like, it's just so hyped now. And
But
it's so annoying.
they threw 50s out like it's nothing.
They give out 50s like it's going out of fashion. And
Yes.
the thing I don't like celebrity judges.
It's so trash. You don't know.
I
Colin.
like the
You
Hall of
don't
Famers
know.
coming in. But you don't know what it's like to go up and try and do like a 360 windmill or whatever. Like, you're just thinking, wow, that's cool. I'm going to give it a 10.
100. It's just hype
But like, does anyone actually know the criteria?
for judging.
Yeah.
No, it's just like, who can we get that wants to do this?
No, but
that's
like, no,
a fame?
not for like. What are they looking at? Do you like? And this is the one thing, and I know I spoke to you about on the phone. I don't like the dunk contest. It's like UFC. It's like boxing.
You don't like either of those sports.
It's a
right?
No, I
judge's
like
game.
them, right? No, but it's a judge's game, and no one can really know, apart from the people judging. But there's not really a clear, definitive line. Like with basketball, any other sport, bucket goes a hoop. That's points. If you are up, you win. If you're losing, you out. You know, like, there's no clear way to judge it.
Yeah, and I think
And that's really frustrating. And to Aaron Gordon's credit, good on him for calling it out and saying, I'm done, I should have won too. Like,
he should have won one.
The first one was closer.
He shouldn't have won.
He should have definitely won
Doesn't
this
matter,
one. Just
but like-
Yeah, I agree. Like like that 360 that he just like grabs it with one hand and then 360, like that's absolutely savage. And I agree with you. Get celebrity judges out of. To be fair, the worst judge was Dwayne Wade. Let's just remember that.
Yeah, and remember that he's like the greatest Miami guy ever.
Yeah.
And you've got a Miami Heat player in the final, and he's like,
Who am I
okay,
gonna pick?
Kings.
My boy. But
Yeah.
like, if someone said to me, "You've got a dunk contest between Aaron Gordon and Derek Jones Jr. Who do you think's going to win?" I'd
Aaron
probably
Gordon.
pick Derek Jones Jr. though. No, I honestly would.
Really?
Bro, look at it. He is the bounciest dude in the NBA. He
But
makes
it's not about being.
I think
bouncy.
it's
Yeah.
more
No,
impressive.
it's not about being
yeah.
bouncy.
Well, it's absolutely it's the fundamentals of being able to get up high to
yeah,
do
but
the
it's
cool
being
shit.
able to do. But
He still windmilled over 2 people.
Yeah, but it's more impressive that Aaron Gordon can do that sort of stuff. He's like 6'9", 240. Like he's a big dude.
Yeah.
And he can get up and do
The
just
same.
as crazy a dunk
Agree.
as a skinny 6'7" dude.
Like
Who
I
was
don't
born with bounce.
I don't disagree with you, and I agree that looking at it, you can make a case either way. I've got no problem with who won personally. I was like, but
Derek Jones did. He was not happy that he won.
Derek Jones Jr. was not happy that he won.
Because he looked at, I just seen some stuff, and you're like, because almost everyone was like, Aaron Gordon's won that. Everyone's like, he's won it. And then, have you seen any of the, I'll say, controversy that has come out? Because it's probably just the media, not us, of course, just finding any way to spin a story around. Everyone thought that one dunk was a 50. Someone pushed the wrong button.
Push the wrong button.
Sure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get proper judges in. Like,
Only
if,
change the mate.
if it's going to be wrong, at least get it judged wrong by the guys who are allowed to do it. Like
Have some
from next year, make Vince Carter a dunk contest judge.
Yeah.
Just make it.
That would be good.
Get
know-
like Hall of Famers, get
I know.
dudes who do that stuff.
I know. Like
Get Nate Robinson in there.
Dominic Wilkins, bring him back. Like there was that one. What year was it? 2000 and I'm going to say 7 or 8, whatever it was, where it was like Shaq, Kobe, Dikembe Mutombo, and Wilkins. I'm okay with that.
That's good.
Question, and just I'm going to take a completely new spin on this. How early do people know who the judges are? Just out of curiosity.
I have no idea. Zero idea.
You know what I had
Because
an
it's
issue
an
with?
entertainment. Sorry, it's an entertainment sport. So how many people have bought tickets? Oh my god, I want to get see Common. I want to see Common from the stand. He's gonna be.
Do people care about
roll your eyes. It doesn't. It's America, man.
Apparently so.
It's America.
He
Right?
did everything. He introduced the All Stars for some reason.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's people will buy tickets to that, so they also want to sell money. And they
Sell
want-
money.
Sell money to
Sell
make
money.
money.
Sell tickets.
I've
I
lost it.
feel
It's been
you.
a long day, but you know what I'm talking about, right? It's not that I do not agree with that approach. I agree with exactly what you're saying.
But yeah,
Bring back the real dunkers,
Yeah,
but
but-
I think that is probably a bit of the logic behind it. Sorry, Jack, I interrupted you.
My gripe this year about the dunk contest was there was way too much of jumping over people.
Yeah.
Like 80% of the dunks were like jumping over someone or doing a windmill over someone or
To be
whatever
fair, I'd
it
want
was.
a trophy if I did that.
I'd
Yeah,
give you
but
a
it's,
trophy if you
it's,
did that.
it's kind of old. Like, it's kind of old, you know. Like
Jump over a car. Bring back Blake
yeah,
Griffin.
do that sort of stuff. You know, the windmill over the bike and the jump over the car. Like, do that. Do something different.
Yeah, all I can say is I think it's losing its glam of the All-Star weekend, and they've probably got to make some changes somehow.
Well,
very
especially when it's being and I know that the dunk contest has always overshadowed the 3-point contest, which was dope. Buddy Hield was an animal. He was so impressive, and
He
also,
deserved to win
and
that.
yeah, and then
Really
also
good.
the skills challenge, which I love, was won by a big man.
Yeah, so shall we move on? Dunk contest. Changes need to be made, or are we agreeing on that?
Just judging. I mean, it's always going to be hype. It's for the fans, whatever. Like,
Cool.
who
All right.
cares?
Skills challenge. I loved how the big men all knocked out guards. I thought that was fantastic. And it was always on the first piece too. It was the pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't do much prep on things usually, but when I found out I was coming on today, I did a little bit of prep.
Yeah, you did.
And I watched the skills challenge, and I looked back on a few skills challenges as well. From 2003, when it started, right? 2003 to 2015, every single year it was won by a guard. 12 years straight. Two of
You'd
those
expect
years,
that.
two of those
you would.
years it was won by Dwayne Wade, shooting guard.
Over LeBron.
Every single other year was a point guard,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. I know. And you
We
would
get
think
to
that.
today, and I think it's a bit of a reflection of how the game is played today, where the big guy is quite often making a scoring pass or having to kick to shooters, and
Don't I
and
know
having
it?
Well, how
I know,
many?
I mean-
Well, let's be honest. How many of those point guards or guards in that challenge were pass first?
I don't know. I didn't look that deep, man. Come on.
I'm going 0.
No,
'Cause they
maybe
weren't.
not. I mean,
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, no.
but it is surprising the fact that like Bam Adebayo wins it. Like you wouldn't expect him.
And
to-
I love that actually because he was on the show before chatting, and they're like, "Yeah, you're gonna like do it." He's like, "Nah, man, I'm just gonna play it cool out there." And
Me
then
win.
they showed like highlights of like warming up, just nailing the pass.
It all came down to the pass because nowadays anyone can hit an open three,
yeah, that's a difference,
Yep.
right?
and everyone can dribble through the people and do a layup.
Chris Middleton though,
I know.
Yeah.
forgetting the ball. Ooh,
It's a blowout.
It is a blowout. Okay, it's a good stat, Jack. I'm happy
It
with
is
that.
a good stat.
Yeah.
On to the one that everyone actually gives a shit about.
Yep.
So the All-Star game, we covered it. I'm not sure if we covered it the week before last, but pretty much they changed the whole format to make it 1 competitive, 2 for charity, and 3 because people just didn't like it anymore. So
Tribute.
and a bit of tribute, exactly. So they play per quarter. The winner at each quarter gets $100,000 towards a chosen charity. Scores a reset at the end of each quarter. They do that 3 times. At the end of the third, they count up the total scores. They play to the top score plus 24.
Yep. And that's
And that's in honor of Kobe.
yep.
Well, goddamn, didn't they play as soon as they had a number to work to?
Yeah. What I mean, keep it. You need to keep that format.
I was
Yeah.
glued to the screen watching those guys. Like the fact that for 3 quarters they're letting guys through big dunks, etc., and then the fourth quarter, which took, I reckon, in game time probably like 18, 19 minutes. In real time, like 45.
I thought that 24 was not going to be enough. I was like, oh man, the fourth quarter is going to be like 5 minutes long. And
It's
then they
almost too
come out,
long.
I'm like, oh, maybe not. Because they were balling and they were going at each other. That was
Lockdown, taking charges. Like I love arguing the call, getting them overturned, taking like the challenges and stuff. Like it's brilliant.
How about at one point all the alpha dogs just going,
But they're all alphas.
yeah,
They're
and you've
almost
got
all
like 5
alphas. So
dudes
it's
all
like,
yelling at the ref. Yeah,
you got all 5 of them because that's what they do on their respective teams. So pretty daunting for the referees
Well,
to be in there.
Imagine
I
looking
wonder-
around and seeing
I mean,
all
I
those
was-
stars just
You would have been
yelling
thinking,
at
like, oh yeah, oh, yes, get to ref the All-Star game. It's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, there's gonna be no calls. They must have been like, oh shit, we got to really start making some calls now in this fourth quarter because they are going.
They care.
hard.
And the thing I love about it is, I'm not saying it's better than Game 7 of the finals or whatever, but there was this one play where Embiid was down low. He got an offensive rebound. He took it down. Big man shouldn't do that. We all know this. And Kawhi Leonard straight, and drinking all Rebet's whiskey. I like it.
I'm okay, thank you.
Straight just took it out of his hands and like ran off with it. Like everyone goes, that's one of the greatest steals I've seen. I'm like, I agree. Also, remember he's playing against one of the most dominant centers in our league. Every play offensively that was beautiful was made against a world-class defender. Every piece of defense was against one of the best moves from one of their best offensive players. Like LeBron James bumping and still getting blocked in a fadeaway by Giannis is one of the coolest things.
Yep. And then he got him back. And he
Yeah.
stripped
Yeah,
him
he
on his
still got
own
him back.
fadeaway. Yeah.
So dope.
I'm a huge fan. Well done, NBA. Kudos
Like,
to you.
You make people
have
care again.
You've made people care again. Yes, you've taken over and highlighted that there are other issues in the rest of the weekend, but the format, getting people to care again, and getting players to actually want to win, because it's just like them being it was just like a pickup game. It was literally just like a pickup game,
so
playing
hard.
to 24. How much did Team LeBron have to?
They were
down 9.
Were they
Yeah.
down 9?
Nine behind. And to be fair, I think what happened is you look at it at the start of it and they caught up fairly quickly. Like it was
Yeah.
kind of like they get back on even terms.
Yes.
Kawhi Leonard got the Kobe Bryant All-Star MVP award, which I think is the best tribute to Kobe Bryant you could do in the NBA.
Well, I just want to. We need to sing a shout out to the NBA because we haven't had an email or any confirmation because that's IP.
That is
technically.
IP. We did
that
think
has
of
been
that.
stolen. Daine called this the day of, or it would have been the day after when we had
did
our
podcast.
first episode, saying if you're going to do something, this is what you should do. Name the MVP trophy, MVP trophy for the All-Star game.
Someone's out there watching.
Someone's watching, and we're not getting
paid.
We're not getting paid, and it's really
There's gonna be
upsetting.
no celebrity judges this year in the dunk contest.
Yeah.
People watching.
Yeah, I know. They know.
They know. So, Daine, well done.
But what I wanted to touch on with both of you is your thoughts on. I mean, you can't make the whole. I think that's a perfect game, right? You get the fans get 3/4 of high flying dunks, awesome shit. They then get 1/4 of actual proper lock 'em down basketball. Kawhi Leonard played great through 3/4. He had LeBron distributing. He had Chris Paul distributing. Got MVP. Great. Who got MVP of that fourth quarter? The actual game.
Oh, good question. I mean, if I knew a certain other individual was here, I know who he would say. So I will not say that name.
Absolutely not.
So
You do not agree with everything he does off the ball?
we're talking about Kyle Lowry.
Anyway, sorry.
Why was he playing in the fourth?
I totally agree with you.
I think it was Chris Paul. He got them back in the game, and I feel like he made the right play a lot of the time.
When it mattered. Who was your most Oh, sorry, Dan. Before you get to most
I got a different one,
Okay,
Carol.
go.
You got
James
different-
Harden. So Giannis called out James Harden, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see, I saw something about this today, and I've missed all the sort of background around it.
So his post game interview, he was saying their strategy in the fourth quarter was to give the ball to whoever James Harden was guarding, and they were going to post him up. Which
they
is,
tried.
But there was lots of beef before, right?
Yeah,
Between
he's
him
been
and
talk-
Giannis,
yeah.
they've all been talking trash about each other. So this.
But
Giannis
James
elbow in
Harden
the
is a
face?
really, really good post defender.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the same conversation I had during watching it. Everyone could see they were doing it because all of a sudden you've got Embiid posting up, you've got Giannis posting up, you've got whoever. You had Lowry trying it on. No, they're on the same team. No,
Siakam tried at him.
Siakam, yeah.
Siakam,
So,
yeah.
and you go, oh damn, boy can play defense. I think he can always play defense. The problem is on the Rockets for the last
doesn't
4
care.
years, they're like,
job's to
he's
score.
like, I'm putting 50 points up. Help me out.
Someone else plays.
That's the
defense.
difference.
In one-on-one post defense situations, James Harden's like in the top 5th percentile or something in the league.
Yeah. And he just doesn't
He's
get the
good.
credit.
And then Giannis is like, yeah, let's go at that guy.
Yeah. good
Because
bit.
he's
Good
like,
one, Giannis.
because he used to like just cheat on defense and he used to have all those those YouTube highlights and all this sort of stuff from a few years ago. But he locked down the post and he got a lot of stops
I think
and they won.
I think that fourth quarter really opened up the eyes for a lot of other teams and a lot of other coaches and everyone who was watching, who's expecting the Bucks to go through. And they know the game plan now.
Yeah.
If Giannis has the ball, happy days. Feed it to Giannis
He
because
can't close.
close is one, but it's again making the right decision. He doesn't look as dominant at all. It's almost the same like with him at the FIBA World Cup. He was a no-show. So teams have figured it out pretty quickly.
Meanwhile, they've got the best record in the NBA.
But he's not. He is a big contributor to that. But
Is
there's
it?
other role players that I think you probably need to slow down. I don't want to just say Chris Middleton. He has been playing really well, but I think their whole setups that they've got has helped them get this record. It'll be interesting to see what happens in the next 28 games. I haven't looked at their schedule. I'm unsure, but he's still young. Still inexperienced when it comes to crunch time and the playoffs. As we all know, we've all seen it. It's every team just goes up a whole nother level. It's always the best time to be watching because teams just do stuff you've never seen before. So I think he just showed why he maybe shouldn't be rated as highly as he should be.
That's such a big. I get why you're coming from that angle.
It's hard though because it's an all-star game, right?
Closing 2011. Remember, LeBron couldn't close either. Like that's just a maturity thing that you've got to learn. at 31 or whatever it is, 30, Michael Jordan still hadn't won a championship. Was he even the first option? I mean, he was the first option on teams. That comes with maturity. I think the Greek Freak's got the right...
attitude.
He's got the right attitude and the right mentality to become that guy.
Just not
You're
there
only
yet.
going to get there by getting there and failing, though. Like,
Yeah, he's gonna win rings, maybe ring. He's gonna
Ring.
win. He's gonna win in his career, but he's not gonna win this year.
he was the most disappointing player in that fourth quarter for me, easily.
Oh, absolutely. Apart from his defense, his defense
yeah.
was very good. But
Both sides of the
But
ball.
he's on the Bucks
You gotta
not just
put
for
the-
defense, though, right? He's there to score
Well,
buckets.
it's the same. It's the
Yeah.
same James Harden issue, right? Like, what do you need to do? Like, there are
What do you want?
There have been
Do you want
very
offense?
few,
Do you
there
want
have been very
defense? Or
few
you want-
players that can do everything, and no matter how much you say it, every star who's won championships and won big has had someone else to help them. No one does it by themselves. Like, everyone's like, the first person that's going to do it by themselves is LeBron James in 08. We're going to take this trash-ass team to the finals, and they got swept by the Spurs because they were great as a team. Like, you just can't do it. And they should put people around him before they lose him, because he will close and he'll figure it out, but you don't want him doing it to you when he plays for
Someone
the
else.
Rockets or
Yeah.
the Clippers or something. Like, you're in deep shit if he goes if he goes somewhere like that. The
Yeah.
league is. Do you have a player of that fourth quarter?
Full disclosure, I only watched the highlights, so I only saw the
Fine.
points. And I did see Kawhi just pulling out. He's just sort of everywhere, right? And we were talking about it off here before around Kawhi Leonard being not so much, just being a freak and one of your great players to watch. But he still just makes the right decisions. But it's also there defensively. I don't know, it's so hard because you're watching and you're almost a little bit starstruck. You're like you don't see this every day, and to that level, like that's to be at that stadium if you were there. You've just been treated to something very, very special. Watching
you're very
watching
lucky.
that fourth quarter, you are very lucky. So I'll go Kawhi Leonard for me.
I think I've thought it for 2-3 years now. I think he's the best player in the league. I think overall, any given
Just
possession,
disagree.
he's the best player in the league. And he's who I want on my team if I want to win a championship. That's why I said the Clippers before, but purely because of him. I don't care about Pat Beverly.
No one
No
does.
one does.
But like, you still
No one does.
you still got to remember that the Clippers were great last year without him. They took Golden State to 6 games in the first round, and their best scorer, Gallinari. But it's those backup guys that have always been good. I think
It's been the Lou Williams and Montrezl Harrell show. Really,
totally. I
for
think
that whole Clippers team.
the cool thing about Kawhi Leonard is he got a taste for winning early with the Spurs, and
Yep.
you know everyone forgets he got a Finals MVP.
Yeah,
When
everyone
he was
does
like
forget
22 or
Yeah,
something.
because he was fucking awesome.
that. I love it.
Jo-
I do love his no emotion though.
But
Like
Jo-
I'm kind of like I hate it, but I love it because it's just like just.
But is
just
it?
buff.
And why is he the guy then that you like? I'm very, very biased to who I think that you put the ball in the right guy's hand. I still think LeBron James is hands down the best player in the world, and you'd struggle to push me elsewhere because
Yeah.
because of what he can do on every single position in so many different ways. You look at the All-Star game. He's now got the dope veteran moves, like pretending to give Kemba Walker contact, pulling out of it, and Kemba Walker trips over and the ball goes out of bounds. Veteran. Plus the fact he's a super freak. He can shoot the lights out. Like if he had hit that half court shot,
Sorry,
that was the end of that
sorry,
game.
Jake. Had to see this.
This-
This hasn't come out in a long time.
Oh,
but
this
here
is
it is.
shame-
It's the
this is shameless self promotion.
I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's like
I'm on
it ain't
the
wrong,
fence.
but it ain't right. You know?
Why is it not right?
I just yeah. I'm with Jack on this one.
You're just like disagreeing with me.
Yeah, and
I
that.
did put my LeBron hate in the bin a couple of years ago, though.
I think
Did you get over the Jersey burning and Jersey burning and all that? Did
No,
you
I
burn
Yeah, I
some?
never burned a jersey, but
You got close though, eh?
But I wanted to. Yeah, if I had one. No. I didn't like him for a long time. I
It's the
thought he was
last
really
time you're
cocky,
coming on the
but,
show. He's
no,
cooking because he's awesome.
he is awesome,
That's why.
but not the awesomest.
He's absolutely
Poor
awesome.
decision making taking that 3 down the All Star.
Yeah, but risk versus reward. You miss it, you're still up. You can go play defense. You make that. You are a boss. That is like 40 feet. That's huge.
Bad
Yeah,
shot.
he's not Damian Lillard. Don't
Yeah,
joke.
yeah, not Daine
I
Lillard.
agree.
eh?
Like,
Yeah, Daine.
I agree. Like,
Don't be trying to
you
pull
know,
up on that.
risk versus reward.
No.
Absolutely. That's how Steph Curry started.
Yeah,
Risk
but this is
versus
the
reward.
thing, though. Like, now you're just finding any argument, any way to back up LeBron James. Because
You must
you're
love Trae Young.
I do not like Trae Young.
Why not?
Why don't I like Trae Young?
Yeah.
I think he, like, what's to love at this stage? He hasn't done anything yet. Like, okay, he's
He
a.
can't win a game.
Yeah.
But he can put up some numbers.
I can absolutely put up numbers. Agree. So can Carmelo Anthony. What are your thoughts on him?
I love Carmelo
Yeah.
Anthony.
What?
Yeah, man.
Apart from
his game-
OKC days.
I just love how smooth his game is.
Oh, yeah, like, to be fair, that's
Silky.
Um,
Oh,
I'd
nice.
still take, as most people would, I think, at this point, I'd take Doncic over Trae Young any day.
oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
He had a quiet weekend.
I know.
Very quiet weekend.
Annoyingly
like,
quiet, to be honest.
Both games he played in, he did kind of nothing.
But, like,
He doesn't care.
This is something that I thought about, and it kind of came up with Nikola Jokic more than him, but, like, boy's not cut out for an all-star game. Like, he's an all-star. Nikola Jokic is a bona fide all-star, 100%. Should he be playing in the all-star game? No. Why? Not entertaining.
It'd be good if there was a way to say like, hey, well, I suppose it's the All NBA teams, but it was like, hey, you're an all-star, but like, just sit this one out. I'm gonna get in like Zion and Ja Morant,
Yeah.
all these young dudes who want to be high flyers and do cool shit instead of just
totally agree.
be a big dude who will pass the ball and maybe hit a three.
No
Because
one
at the end-
wants to see a post hook.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, who wants to be at All-Star Weekend? They probably want to be on a beach, relaxing, taking their time off. Because how many days? They get quite a few days off.
Yeah, so they don't go back till Thursday, so they get a week off, which
Yeah.
is good. That's the best thing about All Star Weekend is no matter who you are, you get time off, and they need it.
Do you think to change, because we keep talking about players resting and load management and too many games, hard to have an All-Star Weekend earlier because it's like, oh, have they...
Have two.
Not quite. But do you almost bring it back a bit earlier? I don't know, because I
thought
feel
it
like
was
this
earlier
breaks...
originally.
I feel like the break's really good.
Yeah,
Really, really good for the players, but they already played 3/4 of the season.
they should get.
Mind you, I
Can we
guess
give
they're
them, like,
lining,
Christmas, New
lining
Year
up.
off?
Exactly what I was going to say.
Just like everyone else in the world.
Exactly what I was about to head to. Like everyone else in the world, like they get summer off, cool. But give them a couple of days. Like it's going to help load management. It means they get to be with their families. Like I just feel like that's exactly what I was about to go with.
Yeah,
I
but
totally agree.
back to my other spin I had before. It's a business, right? And that's where they make all their money, and
But
that's
not
what
on-
that's
but
what
not
pays
on
for their
New
salaries.
Year's Day games. Okay, fine. Christmas Day, play Christmas. Leave
Are
them
you-
alone until the second.
Are you telling me that if you were living in America and you had the opportunity to go to New Year's Day game, you wouldn't go?
New Year's Day.
We're too
I'm,
dusty.
I'm hung to bits on New Year's Day.
You would still go to an NBA game.
Which I'd be watching
I
it
would.
at home. With
I went
I
to the
would too.
Breakers when I was dusty.
more than once.
More than once, yeah, not just once. Yeah.
I went by myself once. Did I tell you
Remember-
guys?
Like we need to remember how
But
the league.
literally, if without the girlfriend, just by
remember-
yourself.
Just literally, but I had a whole row to I had like 8 seats to myself.
Did you spread?
Yeah, of course. And I had my tray of beers and my pizza, and I just sat there and enjoyed it
fan.
right
Did you
by
chat
myself.
to anyone, or you just
Not at all.
fantastic?
But I got up and
Is it-
clapped. I had my noisemaker and
No,
everything.
you didn't.
Is it because you had your LaMelo ball top and no one wanted to talk to you?
No, I was wearing my RJ Hampton one,
Oh, I love that.
which is going to be retired because he's Dante Exum. But anyway,
No.
I don't disagree. I think it's probably not a bad analogy to take. I hope not for his sake.
yeah,
I hope
go
not
for it.
either, but I can see it.
We've been talking for an hour and we didn't get to Shaq, so I think we park Shaq until we don't have guests.
Do you reckon? I'm happy to carry on.
You happy to carry on?
I'll kick on.
Great.
do it.
All right,
Let's
so
just-
we'll
yeah.
give another 10 to 15 minutes.
Yeah,
on
let's
the
go
chat.
another 15. Our-
Great chat so far, lads. Like I said, Shaq came up, just popped into. Obviously, he's a massive piece of All Star Weekend and what he's done. Plus, I'm listening to this book of Basketball 2.0. I want to dive in with you guys onto. We didn't watch Shaq live in his prime.
No.
Like when,
Saw him near the end.
Like when I first started watching, he'd just got traded to the. He just got to Miami. Like I watched his last season with the Lakers, like 03-04.
Yep.
And then he went to Miami, and then the Suns, and then Cleveland, and then the Celtics.
So here's a question then to lead into that around Shaq. What is your favorite memory, or what is the one thing that you just remember about Shaq when you were watching it during that time for both of you?
Watching him like
What's the
live?
what's the one thing you remember?
Just star power. Like everything about him was just power. And I this is so lame. I like literally when I was like 13,
Oh,
we
no.
went to
Here we go.
went to Pizza Hut.
Oh.
Pizza Hut at the time.
Is this an all you can eat?
Oh, yeah.
Sitting in.
Yeah. With the dope tops, and it's
Yeah.
like $12.50 for kids, all you can eat, and you know
Yeah.
damn well I'm going cheese pizza and then
And
heaps of
dessert.
dessert.
Yeah.
And they were doing a Shaq promotion.
No, were they?
Pizza Hut were.
So
in
my-
New Zealand.
In New Zealand, we're having a Shaq.
Oh.
Tell
And
me, can you please
and
tell us?
I
Please,
literally-
where were you? Where's home?
At this point, it was Rotorua.
Okay.
It was.
I thought we were talking deep
no,
south.
No,
and
not
so-
deep south yet. This is pre deep south. So it might have even been before we shifted south in 01. So it might have been before that. So this might have been
Wow.
like 2000 Shaq.
Big
And
Prime Shack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actual Prime Shack. And we were there, and I was eating all I could, getting on that jelly, getting on that chocolate mousse. And they had these Shaq drink bottles. They're doing a Shaq promotion, and I'm like, Mum, can I please have one? Like, please.
You
like,
have
this is
no
amazing.
idea, Mum.
You have no
I
idea.
need
Like,
it.
amazing, because I had like some posters and stuff, and he was one of them. And she said no, and I literally just threw toys. Like I just cried. I straight up cried, and like until I got what I wanted, which like
So you
not
did
much has
get. So,
changed.
so you did get one.
Got my Shaq drink bottle.
Yeah,
Like
you did.
I reckon Mum still got it somewhere at home, and
You need to find it. Can you see if you can
so
get it
it's
sent
it's
out? That'd
white.
Be great.
It's got Shaq in his might even be an Orlando
it
uniform. Like
Orlando?
it's on a uniform that's might not even be NBA, but I was like I am shamelessly just crying now, and I just because I want a drink bottle, and that's my biggest like the memory of him the whole way through. It's just straight star power. On the court, off the court, everything about him. Like there are very few people that go, "Do you know who Shaq is?" I go, "No,"
Yeah.
and that's what I love about him.
Jack.
I think earliest memory of Shaq, I think, again, probably not a non-watching one. I used to play a lot of NBA Live 01. For some reason.
What do you take a guess? What was his rating?
I want to say like a
102.
90. I want to say it was like a 98,
Yeah.
like maybe a 99.
Yeah.
And I used to pick the Lakers, and I used to beat up on the Indiana. I don't know why I picked the Indiana Pacers,
Good.
but that Indiana Pacers,
They
NBA
got-
Live 01, they are like 0 and 200. And all I used to do was either shoot mid-range jumpers with Kobe or just give it to Shaq, and he would just dunk on everyone. So that was like Shaq was my
fan.
guy. I carried on with my Shaq fandom through Miami Heat. Like, I just like Shaq because he's just big and good. And I just loved how he could just score on anyone and do whatever he wanted because he was so big.
Body anybody.
If only he had the kind of mental drive
Oh.
that someone like Kobe did. Like
Mhm.
I think we
Agree.
would sit here and
He's admitted to that too.
think that he could have been the greatest of all time. He could have been.
I don't disagree with you, and I think that's a good segue. Yes, if you paired Kobe's drive to win with Shaq's sheer dominance, there is a case to go, he could have been the best player of all time if he'd stayed in shape, etc. But what I did kind of like about Shaq, and potentially why he had so much stardom, is because he was about enjoying life and the stuff outside that he did, like his movies that he did. Like, remember he had a rap album that Biggie was on. Like,
Was that
that's
Crib?
straight star
What's
power.
that Crib show when they used to go Celebrity Cribs or whatever?
Cribs?
Was it just called Cribs?
MTV Cribs.
What's that Cribs show? Yeah, MTV Cribs. That's the brand.
MTV
Yeah.
Cribs,
Remember
man.
seeing Shaq's house?
And he had the big circle bed. He had the biggest bed in the world or something. He had to get everything all custom made because he was so
custom
big.
But if you take, like, at the end of it all, it's the end of his career now. Don't try as much as you can not to go back just on fondness. He is top what in basketball? Like top 10, top 15, top 20?
Are you talking
20.
about like legacy or actually on the court playing?
Both. Like, go on the court first.
On the court, he's top 5.
Behind who?
Behind Jordan, LeBron, Kobe.
Oh, here we go. Controversy already. Carry on.
And the fourth one's really tough, but
Steph Curry, mate.
how no?
Not even once.
No.
now. Early in the
I
piece.
want to say Wilt.
Okay. straight on the court. Like I disagree with the Kobe one, but I'll get into that. And as far as legacy goes, then
Top 10.
top 10. You still
Yeah.
think it's top 10? Like
Yeah,
you
probably
just-
late. Probably like 8 or 9 or something.
You disagree, and what? Like, why do you like? I'm not saying you're hating on Shaq.
I'm just
but-
not a big fan. I remember Hack Shack.
Yeah, he
Can't
changed.
shoot-
Yeah, but he
can't shoot
changed.
free throws.
Yeah, but he changed the way that they officiated and played the game of basketball.
Don't act
You-
like that. Like that's not him contributing to the game.
100%.
But he still ended his career as like a top 4 scorer of all
Maybe
time.
it's
or
just not I'm
something.
a big guy. Maybe it's because I'm not a big guy. I've never ever played that game.
He averaged a double-double for like 13 seasons. No,
No,
nothing. Wow.
Whoa.
So I would say
I don't like his. I didn't really vibe with his game. Maybe because I couldn't do that. Obviously.
can anybody really
The
like?
thing is, I remember like when we
Zion.
talked around the Kobe. Remember to talk about the Kobe
Not tall
tribute.
enough.
I remember watching the Kobe Shaq show. Don't really remember Shaq. I just remember Shaq setting screens, and Kobe just coming off it really good setting the screens. And yes, he had some big plays and blah blah blah.
Big plays. That Sacramento series, he was like averaging 40 and 20.
Yeah, but who cares? Everyone was about Kobe.
Finals MVP.
He doesn't do it. For
Kobe
me.
was on another level when Shaq left. Though.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like. He doesn't really do it for me. Yeah.
No, that's fair.
So where does he? So where does he rank in your?
Top
let's
20.
say on court. What's he on court? Top what?
20.
I'm not even going to say
No,
behind.
because I couldn't give you 19.
Because I'm going to
names.
get mad. What about legacy?
I think his legacy has helped with what he's been doing outside after the game, and what he's contributed back by being there as a role model to other players. Like I know he probably does a lot of stuff off court, and I think he's built some really good relationships that way. Legacy on the court, like again,
Top 20.
top 20, not like.
That's
So-
borderline disrespectful.
Yeah. So I would.
Oh well, that's what I'm here to be controversial.
Yeah.
right? Like,
Totally. I would.
don't ask me to back it up,
No,
but
that's
I'll just say
fine.
it.
I would say Shaq. And I never watched. To be honest, all the only things I've watched of Wilt Chamberlain are like a couple of things with Bill Russell, and that was about it, right? So I'm kind of taking him out of it because I just don't know. I straight don't know. But I've kind of gone back and watched a lot from like 80s, 90s, 2000s, etc., right the way through. He is the most dominant big man that's ever played the game. He is the most dominant big man. Like, name one guy. Tim Duncan's not big enough to just overpower you and beat the crap out of you.
Nope.
Hakeem Olajuwon's not big enough, potentially not athletic enough. Like, no, that sounds weird, but like small as well. David Robertson, easily athletic enough, not big enough, can't do as much for you. Who else you want to talk to? Dwight Howard, the next coming. Don't even start me on that. So like,
Can I though? Because I feel like you got a lot to say, but we won't. Carry on.
but I just don't think there's anyone that's been as straight up dominant as him. You can't stop him. You look at what they could have called both for him and against him in every series, every game he's ever played, and he only gets about like a third of the calls.
Yeah,
But I
'cause
feel
he
like
was
that's-
Your
that
boys beat
big.
up
But that's everything for. Like I feel that that's always been the challenge. For
to a
big men.
point, but like he is the absolute culmination of that, and he almost doesn't want you to call it because he's going to just score 2 on you anyway. I think as far as
And he
like
can't shoot free throws.
where he get. Everyone's
Get
gonna
up
have
his
a-
own boards and
but, like, okay,
get some more points on the board.
dude. Like if Shaq can shoot 3 and shoot a free throw,
Imagine if Shaq trained the way that big men train now, and they shoot threes and they dribble the ball and they pass the ball and they're basically guards
He'd
who
be
are like
too
7
light.
foot tall.
he'd be too light. That'd be the issue.
he would have lost all his weight trying to just keep up.
I think the biggest issue with Shaq, which hurts his, and this is, I'm straight stealing this because I think it was a really good point, that hurts his legacy, is he never had the adversary that other people did. So Magic Johnson and Larry Bird fought each other. If you look at Jordan, he
He had
kind of
Jordan
fought
and
those
Larry
guys.
Bird as
Yeah, and
well,
he kind of fought those
Jordan
guys.
and everyone, yeah.
Yeah, Jordan and everybody else
every
ever.
star. Yeah.
Wilt and Bill Russell, potentially Kobe and LeBron to a point, and then LeBron and
Steph Curry?
Steph Curry.
Probably
yeah,
when we look back
which
at
is
it.
kind of, but which is so weird because there was such a different way of playing. I don't think anyone could even.
It's because
they
he
couldn't
was.
match up against
but he was
him.
like I guess no one had seen it before.
Yeah,
Like he was sort of, I guess, he's brought in a whole new style of game. He was that dominant, and like you can't really.
Yeah.
He probably had so many defenders on. He would have had different defenders every game.
Yeah.
From the same team, right? So I agree to your point. Actually, didn't have that
Didn't have
one
that
guy
magic,
to
yeah.
always prove.
He
that
just
he's
dunk on all the other centres. And I think, like, that probably what hurt his legacy a bit. Like, as far as...
Do you think it hurt his drive to, like,
Yeah.
be better? Because I
Yeah.
guess he didn't need to evolve his game like
Well,
you see big players.
Yeah.
big
I think
men
there was
evolving their
never
game now.
I think for so long there was never a question that he was the best centre in the league, and I think that's maybe what
Stopped him because
sort of
I don't
stopped
need to try
that
too
drive.
much.
He's like,
Yeah.
I know I'm the best big in the league.
There's no one.
No one
close
can
to
touch me.
Yeah.
You got these guys,
Even
you know,
Prime
like LeBron
Duncan.
and Kobe. They're like, oh damn, here comes LeBron. You know, Kobe's thinking, man, there's this new kid, and he's probably a bigger star than I am. I've got to up my game, and then he wins a couple championships
Which is
in
what he
LeBron's
did, right?
prime and all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. But Shaq never had that. He was always the guy. He was always the best.
But then he was also part of the game when it was evolving too.
100%. And, like, do you think he would... How do you think he'd go now? In small ball lineups and shoot 'em up lineups?
Trash.
So I think I'm completely opposite. I think he'd be even better.
Well, it's weird because we've kind of gone through the era, and I know we were going to touch on it, but maybe that's a topic we bring up next week around small ball and Houston
Yeah.
Rockets. But teams are now they're willing to risk very different approaches in what they go. In
Yeah.
terms of you have the Rockets doing what they're doing now, small ball, you have teams still continue to get big men. They're going to play through the big men and go that way. So he doesn't have enough now than what some other big men on really competitive teams have. Rebounds, points, that's probably actually all I would give him.
Blocks.
I think he'd go like 20 and 14. now.
That's exactly what he went for most of his career, so you're probably not
But
far
in a
off.
different kind of way.
Yeah. I think, like, I'm kind of the other way. Like, if you think about how these teams are spreading the floor, right? Just hear me out on this one. So you've got, you take away Kobe from the LA situation, and you put a shooter in there. You got another couple of other shooters, and then you got what's his name, Rick Fox, and those guys.
Yeah.
But you put actual good shooters around him now in today's game. You put him up against any other center, he's going to beat the crap out of them and get rebounds. He's now got another facet of his game, so I think he's totally underrated as a passer. Pass it out to someone like Steph, bang. Like, everything's just knocked down. Like, you don't need him to be there. And I think if Dwight Howard can Dwight Howard's starting to sort of do it a bit, get rebounds, kick it back out, someone will make a shot.
So
But
do you
that's
think
what Dwight Howard did on the Magic.
Yeah.
Like, you might kill me for this, but you take out, you look at the Lakers, take out Kobe, put a couple of shooters in.
Yeah.
The 09 Magic, or that kind of era of the Magic, was
what he
Dwight
did.
Howard and then a whole lot of shooters.
Jameer Nelson, like, come on.
and
Early-
a lot of
early
teams'
JJ
game
Redick.
plan.
like that he threw the pass for him to do the dunk? This is a good throwback.
Yeah, and the game plan was either let's stop Dwight Howard and just make these guys knock down shots, or the other way around, let's stop all these guys shooting and
let Dwight Howard
try and get Dwight Howard to score 50 points, which he can't really do.
Yeah, but Shaq could have. And that's what I'm saying is if if everyone else is shooting, and even if Shaq came into the league now and he was at first year Lakers Shaq, like prime Shaq, or even like Orlando to be fair, if you asked him, Shaq, we're going to need you to score 40 and 20 a game, but we're going to give you the rebounds easy because we're going to miss a few threes, but we are going to chuck a lot up. But we're going to make a lot. Like if guys are making 40% of their threes and all he's got to do is pass it in low, dunk on a center, the next one you kick it back out. Like, defenses don't know how to play that because you can't double them then. As soon as you do that twice, you can't double them and your shooters have got to be occupied.
You can't double him anyway. He's Shaq.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Too
Yeah,
big.
boy can't, you
He's
can't
too
triple
big.
that boy.
Yeah.
I know you disagree.
No, I don't disagree.
But I think
he would. I don't know how well he would fit into the game. I guess back to my earlier point, the game's changing, but teams are playing. They're all risking it all with a three, or they're making the change and trying to go the in and out game with the big. I guess I can't take him seriously on TNT, and so
Yeah,
maybe
fine.
that's probably unbiased view of what's running through my head now. But
I think he's unfairly legacy top 15 player. And I know that's probably disrespectful, but I think there are a lot of guys legacy ahead of him that I could probably actually name if you wanted me to.
Go on, rattle it off. Go on.
Jordan.
You got 14 guys.
Jordan.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying top 15, so I'll make him like 13.
Okay.
So Jordan,
yep,
LeBron,
yep,
Magic, Wilt, just because of the legacy that he's got, right?
Yep.
I went 4. Damn, that's a long list.
Doesn't need to be in order.
Yeah, no, fine. Tim Duncan,
Yep.
potentially David Robertson. Yeah,
Oh, that's a stretch. But go on.
Go on.
still MVP of the league, as many times as Shaq was.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Wade. Kobe.
Legacy wise, yep.
So what am I?
8.
So that makes him 9. Yeah, he's potentially 9. Elgin Baylor.
Magic and Bird.
They were my first. They were up there, weren't they? They were like.
I don't think
He's done Magic. You haven't done
Alright.
Bird.
Oh, Bird as well. Yeah,
You haven't done
absolutely.
Bird, yeah.
Elgin Baylor. Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So that makes him 11. When it's all said and done, Steph Curry.
Yep.
When it's all
that's-
absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Change the game.
So I'll make
I will eventually get over my hate for Steph Curry, but not yet.
fair.
That's fine.
It's
I
still-
don't want you to get
It's
over
still
that just
too
yet.
raw.
I know I'll grow
and
up.
the thing is, I'm probably forgetting guys in there. Like I'm trying to think
There's
who else
so
won
many
MVPs.
other
Like
players.
I wouldn't put like anyone like Steve Nash or anyone
Dirk.
like that.
Maybe.
I still think Shaq's more dominant than Dirk. I think the cool thing about Dirk is he never changed teams and people loved him more because of that. He also beat Prime LeBron, which is cool. In 2011. But yeah, okay, we'll put Shaq at 12. But I think those guys, David Robertson, I might switch out for Hakeem Olajuwon, just because I love Hakeem.
I mean, we probably should just look through the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, exactly.
Maybe, and then
Yeah, but
just,
then
but then it's the same criteria. It's like, oh, God, who's judging this week?
Well, yeah, I don't think someone like KG's even got a ticket on him.
Just go watch Uncut Gems, man. That is horrific acting. It's fantastic.
We'll finish off. We've been at like an hour 15 with our
Fantastic.
Mamba Play of the Week. So we renamed our Play of the Week a couple of weeks ago
Okay.
after the Mamba. What's your Play of the Week?
Play of the week.
One play that you went, damn, that's dope.
Do you reckon? Should we just make it from All Star Weekend?
Just from All-Star Weekend, that's fine.
Play from
You
All Star
go.
Weekend.
You go. I got to think about it.
For me, it's going to be that block, Giannis on LeBron.
Which one?
The Kobe tribute block,
The fadeaway one?
the fadeaway.
So I kind of like the one. I
Because
kind of.
there's a lot like awesome, like full, like that is full stretch too.
Yeah,
Like
that's full freak.
LeBron has made a lot of space, and the freaks just whoop, just come out, and that's
I kind of like his chase down one of them better. The one that actually like saved the game that I thought was a goaltend initially. That was pretty dope.
what. No, okay, I'm not going to start because we could be arguing about that like last time.
Whether it's a goaltend
It
or
was a
not.
goaltend or not.
Yes, but you can't let it finish. You know
You
what I
can't
mean?
finish it. Yeah.
It doesn't
do,
finish.
do not call a goaltend.
Yeah, yeah.
We
Adam
need more money.
Silver's like-
Everyone is watching.
That's exactly what I was doing. I was
ratings
like,
on us
Adam
watching.
Do
Silver
not
was
call
like,
it.
try it. I'm gonna fire you. Like I'm a straight fire you if you stop this game right now on a goaltend call.
Yeah.
That would probably be my one to be honest.
chase
LeBron
down
if it
block?
hit that 3 because that'd be sick. Or CP3's alley-oop just because it's his
Yeah.
first dunk since 2016.
That was the most surprising one. How do you just bounced out of nowhere? This 34-year-old point guard dude who's like 6 foot tall just jumped up and caught a two-handed lob. Like, why can't I do that? I'm 4 inches taller and I'm like 10 years younger.
I won't point out the
Yeah.
obvious, but
Yeah.
He's in the NBA exactly. And what was your one? The Chris Paul.
That was my most surprising one.
yeah.
I am going to go back to the dunk contest because I just really, really enjoyed that off the corner, the little scoop
Yeah.
Oh,
360.
how good.
is-
Oh, that was nice. That was
Yeah.
that was for me. Like I jumped out of my seat.
First
for that.
attempt too. Yeah.
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 Oh.
Oh no.
Was it first team?
Nah, he got it second time.
Oh, was it?
Because
But
that's
it
one
was
thing I
just
don't
as
like
cool.
about the dunk contest. We'll go.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. But like, you should better make it first pop.
Yeah. That got me out of my seat, so I'm gonna choose that one.
Make a first spot.
Trash call. Eh?
First spot.
I
and then-
enjoy it.
And then, if you have a fail of the week, what is it? Dwayne Wade as a dunk contest. As a dunk
Chris
contest
Middleton fucking dropping the ball, dribbling
on the yeah,
on
okay.
the skills challenge. Come on, bro. It's a straight. You're not even going between things. You're just dribbling for a layup. Leave it right behind.
My fail of the week is Kyle Lowry's fourth quarter.
Yes,
Ooh.
exactly. Takes 2 charges, thinks he's the man, and then blows it for them.
And then
100% agree.
Does some bogus plays.
Yeah. Well, he lost it. If you think about,
I feel like
Anthony
that's
Davis's free
that's such
throw,
a
that's 'cause
target
he-
fail. Poor Dylan. He's not here to.
Yeah, that's just
But you
setting the
can't defend
scene.
that. Yeah.
I hope he sees this.
Yeah.
We'll make sure he knows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll send him the short clip from the end. All right, mate. Thank you for coming in. That's been dope.
Thanks for having me.
You're
Thanks,
really
Jack, mate.
good.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
been sick.
It's been good.
Thank you, everybody. We'll also see you next week, potentially with Jack and Dylan scrapping it out.
Hopefully.
Ideally with another guest as well, because that's been pretty fun so far.
Yeah.
But we'll see you next week, and thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.